Welcome back, everybody, to the Johnny Drinks Podcast. I'm your co-host, Johnny.
This is John.
This is going to be a good one for us because the name Johnny Drinks has been synonymous with drinking on TikTok, but the podcast really hasn't had much drinking involved. And I think there's goods and bads to that, right? I think there's diversification in who we are as people. We're not just alcoholics, or we're not even bartenders. But today I want to talk about specific drinks and when to drink them. You know, when you're in college, for example, anywhere from when you start drinking, hopefully 21, but if you're dabbling maybe a little bit before, if you're not in America, you're kind of just drinking whatever you can get your hands on. You know, like I didn't even know what a real cocktail was until after college. And the only real reason I got into it was because of this page. Like I know my friends at 27, they still go to a bar and they get lost if they're at something a little higher end, what to order, when to order it. So this is going to be good for, I think, people starting out, and then a good refresher for people that are in the quote unquote game of drinking. And if you want to give a quick plug to officially launching the Johnny Drinks Bourbon, we've done that.
Wow, I wasn't planning on this.
That. Yeah.
No, this was not a prop.
You have it in your hand.
But it wasn't a prop. It is for purpose. Because you were talking about drinking, and I thought, wow, what better way to demonstrate the appropriateness of a cocktail, right, or a spirit to celebrate than this. We just came out with it. I was going to pour a little bit for you and me. We'll cheers and toast it.
Well, maybe that's a good place to start, right? Because I think there has to be, in my opinion, there's a difference between overconsumption and appropriate consumption. And those are maybe blurred lines for a lot of people. But a celebration, for example, that's a good reason to have a cocktail or two, or
like
some
right
sort of
now.
liquor, right? So right now,
Right.
we can celebrate, I guess it's the official announcement of the Johnny Drinks Bourbon. And we happen to be celebrating with the same bourbon we're launching. So
Okay, can I open it? I mean, it's already open, but I mean, this is the first bottle. This is the bottle that we opened up. We've been nursing this, and listen to this. This is the sound of celebration. Okay?
that was weak.
That was weak.
There you go.
I mean, it was weak. I just pulled the top off. You want me to do it? All right. This, take two. This is the sound of celebration.
Yeah,
That was better?
you're right. They won't judge you.
Listen, you can only put your cork in and pull it out so many times, and then it gets...
Oh, not up in this podcast. Not going to talk
Okay,
about
so
that
here you
stuff.
go. Here we go. Here's a little bit for Dad.
We already had one.
That's for you, actually. You drink that one. You're not going anywhere. And this is a little bit for me. Because I
We're in
have
the gym.
You're going to the gym? You know what we should do one time? We should go to the gym one time.
Hammered?
And I should show you up. Hammered? No.
Oh, yeah. We should do a fitness trial. There is not one fitness related challenge that you could beat me in. Not one.
Okay.
Name one.
Seriously?
Name something you think you beat me
Oh,
in.
my God.
Come on.
We're
man.
going to change the whole direction of this.
What do you think?
Welcome to the Fitness Challenge podcast.
Dad, name something you think
I'm
you
your
do.
host. This is John.
You haven't named anything.
Huh?
Name something.
Hand strength.
What,
You want to do the
squeezer?
Okay, so what does that equate and relate to? What does that equate squeezing hand strength? Pick a couple exercises. What do you want to do? Want to do curls?
Yes.
Oh my God, this poor
What do you
kid.
curl, like 20 pounds?
Oh,
You're like
yeah.
57.
All right, yeah, you're right. Wait, listen, whenever you want, map it out.
Man.
You pick an exercise, I pick an exercise. And I will say this to you, before we even do them, I will surrender to the ones that I'm certain you're going to be incredibly strong.
That's what I'm saying.
at.
You can pick.
Okay. Perfect. You seriously want to go do that?
Dad, yes. There is not one exercise or challenge that you can beat
You
me in.
realize you have all to lose and nothing to gain? I'm
And that's why
50.
Right. So you're
8
leaning.
years old,
That's
57.
That's somebody
I mean,
that knows
come
they're
on.
gonna lose when you start
No.
already pulling out the
No, but
excuse.
I'm an old man, I guess.
I understand. That's
So
why I
how-
said there's no way.
You should beat me.
Of course, but you
spend
can't go into
hours
a
a-
challenge saying that. That's not fair.
If I pick 3 exercises that I
three.
really feel comfortable at,
Well, that'll be
then
the next video.
you have all to lose and nothing to gain.
And I'm willing to risk it.
This is gonna be great. That should be a vlog. We should do
We'll
that.
see. Back to what we were talking about. Yeah. So celebration,
Right.
liquor. This is obviously a good one.
Cheers.
We want to thank everybody for being a part of the journey with us, because obviously without you guys, we'd be two dad and son doing this behind the camera and nobody will be watching. So,
and I'm just, again, I can't think of a better way to share time. It really is. It's so cool.
Brings us together. We're able to inspire, impact positively a lot of people, right? Maybe we don't realize how many people sometimes, because when you look at views, they're just numbers to you. But these are real human beings.
I'll say this. This was the other day. I'm in the passenger seat. I'm in the passenger seat of Schween's car at the gas station on Valley Road, just talking to him. And the window's open and there's the light on Valley Road there. So cars are slowing down and whatever. I hear someone say, I'm in the passenger seat at the pump talking to him. Someone says, oh, that's the TikTok guy. That's Johnny Drinks. That's the TikTok guy. I'm like, where's that? I look over. Someone's passing by at the red light and sees me in the car. And I'm saying, I said to Schween, I'm like, that is so profound that we are identified. You know, we are out there and we have a loyal following, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm always so, I guess, humbled that people can see that from afar. I mean, this was not something I walked up on somebody or someone walked up on me. They had to be 50 to 100 feet away.
Yep. Right?
So there are a lot of people out there that are interested in whatever we have to say and whatever we do. So thanks to you guys. Cheers to that.
Thank you.
All right.
And think about how many people don't know about us yet.
Yeah.
That's the exciting part.
And how about that? I got Schween's name in there. He's going to be so happy. Schween's listening to it right now.
Who's going to move? Because
all right. Cheers. Well, you're right. Cheers. Now we can't. Take your foot down. All right. Good. And I'm sipping it. I'm not throwing it back as a shot. I don't do shots.
Well, that's a great point. So post college, or when you're kind of just done drinking for the purpose of getting drunk, there's certain liquor that you just don't rip shots of. One of those is bourbon, right? Rarely are you supposed to be just cheersing, ripping a shot of bourbon. If you're going to do that, it's normally with a whiskey.
Well, there's people in Texas that would disagree with you. There's people that will take a beer and a shot and just rip them back, boom, and go. And that's, listen, to each their own.
Right.
More power to you. I personally have never been, and I don't see myself being a big shot guy. If I'm going to do it as a shot, it's got to be something sweet. It's got to be something something that's made for that. No, I don't even mean like, I guess like a tequila, a smoother tequila, but like a cocktail that's made like a lemon drop, right? Or something that's made specifically just to be, or a cordial that's like a rum chata and, something like that, right?
Right. So shots, one purpose they serve, which is getting drunk. But let's talk through certain situations where you're ordering certain things. So you're at a bit of a higher end restaurant, let's say, maybe it's a steakhouse, and your reservation's for 7, you get there at 6, you have some time to kill, you go to the bar. What is your go-to drink?
Okay, so this is very important, and I'm glad this is unscripted, by the way. Everything that we do is authentic. No, because you didn't tell me you were going to do this. Well, they don't know that.
That's the point of this.
Okay, so I'm reinforcing that this is why it's so cool that you're giving me the backdrop. Well, you're giving me the backdrop.
Yes.
And that's important because two things are very important when you think about what cocktail to drink and when. The environment you're in and your budget.
Good point.
What do you have to spend? Okay, so you just said a restaurant. We're at a restaurant. A high-end steakhouse or okay.
You're at a nice restaurant.
All right, you're at a nice restaurant, whether it's steakhouse. Well, see, to me, the meal matters too. If I know I'm going to eat steak or pasta, there's two different mindsets I have about how you should prepare and pair the alcohol to the food.
Well, that's why I said this is a clear pre-game drink. It's like an hour to 30 minutes before the meal. You're not even at your table yet.
I'm at the bar.
You're at the bar.
What kind of restaurant?
I just said.
You said a high-end restaurant.
High-end steakhouse.
Oh, a steakhouse. All right, so I'm sorry. High-end steakhouse. This is an easy one. At the bar, I'm going to have one of two drinks.
I'm going to guess. A Vesper Martini.
Oh.
Or a dirty martini with blue cheese olives in it.
Oh, he doesn't need me then, I guess. Actually, that would be one of then 3 drinks. Because you're right. A martini. I enjoy a martini. Vesper, definitely. A regular vodka martini with blue cheese olives. Definitely. It's 1 and 1A.
So not a dirty martini.
No, not dirty. No, I don't do the dirty.
For those that don't know, a dirty martini just has the extra olive juice in the martini itself.
I like the and I don't like vermouth in it, right? I will appreciate the way the cocktail's made, especially if they double strain it.
So you like a real dry martini?
I like the martini, not only without the vermouth, but the ice chips that some people acquire, and they'll take the 2 cylinders and just break them open and a lot of ice comes out.
Right.
I don't care for that.
Right.
I like it double strained. So I don't want any ice in it. I want it shaken, cold, glass frosted. I want the vodka. Maybe, you know, rinse it out like a true martini. You're supposed to rinse out the glass with the vermouth. And make sure we keep all the ice in the strainer.
I don't think anybody likes their martinis with ice in it.
No, there's plenty of people that do. And that's a preference. And you need to know what you like, and don't be afraid to ask the bartender to make it the way you like. You're paying $18, $20 for a martini at some of these high-end restaurants. So back to the original starting point, it's a martini. It's a Vesper, which is gin and vodka with a twist of lemon, or it's a vodka martini with blue cheese olives for me.
Well, okay, yeah.
And the third option,
okay,
it's 1 and 1A. I do enjoy a Negroni to begin with as an aperitif.
That's my go-to.
Right?
Well, I think that's important because that's my go-to. Anytime before pre-dinner, I'm getting a Negroni for sure every time. But it's important to get to that place where you understand. You go right to the bar, you know what you're going to order. Mm-hmm. But you only get there by knowing, right? So if you're at a higher end steakhouse or whatever it may be, and it's your first time there, don't ever be afraid to ask the bartender. Even if you're going to go and order a martini, there's so many different ways to order, right? Like you just said, you explain you like your martinis extra dry, which I want to make sure. Look up dry martini means there's no vermouth in it, right? Or the drier martini, the less vermouth.
No.
The wet martinis have vermouth in it.
Okay, so you can look it up, but I want to remember one thing before you go and complete that, because you're bouncing around a little bit.
So
the drier
the martini, the less vermouth.
Right, but hold on. I want to get back to the Negroni for a second, because
we didn't get there yet.
You talked about the Negroni that's your go-to. So when you order a Negroni, what's in a Negroni, and what's in a Negroni, and are you going to order it on the rocks or preferably another way?
Okay, well that was what I was going to get to, is because there's different ways to order certain things,
right.
And if you don't know anything, ask your bartender first. Hey, I like martinis. What's the different martinis I can order? And if he says, if you try one a little more wet, it's gonna have more vermouth in it, or try a dirty martini, or try one with a twist, or try blue. Like, let them kind of guide you, because then you're gonna be more confident the next time you go. Something like a Negroni that's just Campari, sweet vermouth, and gin. There's different ways to order it, and I from the standpoint of what glass it's gonna sit in, right? Whether it's gonna be on the rocks or I've never seen a Negroni in a martini glass.
No, it's always gonna be in a rock glass, but it could have cubed ice, or you could have 1 cube. You get to pick your gin, and you might be able to ask for a sweet vermouth. Most places don't have more than 1 sweet vermouth, but the gin you can pick, and that matters. That leads the way.
The gin leads the way. Yeah, I think personal preference, or personal opinion, I think picking the liquor, the actual spirit. Do you have Hendrix? Do you have gunpowder? Be always asking if they have gunpowder first. If they don't have gunpowder, sub for something else. But that's okay. And again, personal opinion. If you start asking for what type of vermouth they have, you're kind of a snob.
Yes,
I know it makes a difference. I get it.
It does. Yes, and it does make a difference. And most places will have a very standard $11 bottle of sweet vermouth. That's fine. That has all to do with they're trying to maximize their profit.
Of course.
Fine. I'm not running a bar. I'm not telling you how to run but you said a high-end steakhouse. We're in a high-end steakhouse. If you're at a high-end steakhouse, you should have a higher-end sweet vermouth.
That's fair.
All right? And it's $35 a bottle. It's very different.
We're charging $25 for a drink.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the way to rationalize it. You're paying a lot of money for these cocktails. Get what you want, how you want it, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to talk to the bartender. And they're churning and burning. They're going. They got a lot of things going on. I respect that, but you're still paying what you're paying. If it was a sandwich, if it was a piece of meat, if it was anything else that you didn't get the way you expected it, you would send it back.
Yeah,
you could have the same approach to the cocktail. All right,
definitely. Well, That's important. And I think there's also the thing to keep in mind. Again, we're talking about hypothetically if you're a beginner and you're going to a restaurant, there's, I think, two things you want to keep in mind if you're with, let's say, a date, right? Number one is going to be the budget, how much you're spending. So knowing going into this place, because I've ran into this problem, and I know my friends have too, where you're ordering a drink for the first time, you're sitting at the bar, you assume that you're not, you budgeted for the dinner, you didn't budget for this, and then they slide the bill over to you, you paid $50 for 2 drinks, and now you have to look and keep your cool in front of a girl or a guy or whatever, but in reality, you weren't expecting that. So go in, if you're saying I'm going to spend $200 today, know that going in to, the bar beforehand. The second thing is going to be your tolerance, right? I know a lot of people that are beer drinkers and they don't drink cocktails, and then they go to a dinner or they're with somebody else at some sort of event and they drink 1 or 2 cocktails and they're on their ass because they're not used to that stuff. So if you're going to order a cocktail before dinner, just keep in mind that they're going to start adding up if you order another one at dinner, post dinner, kind of learn what your threshold is.
Okay. All right. So we got the pre-dinner at the bar while you're waiting for your table drink.
Yeah.
All right. Now you go to sit down, you order your steak, and that's the meal. Well, what do you drink with the steak?
I personally don't mix food with liquor. I don't drink a wine with steak. I don't drink, I try not to drink a cocktail. It just doesn't mix with me. Doesn't make me feel good. Maybe at the table before like appetizers coming out, I'll get a second Negroni, or maybe I'll switch to tequila on the rocks would be a little bit aggressive. But I would go, I'd probably stick with the Negroni if I was going to start with it.
I was going to say, so you started with a Negroni. I started with, let's say, a Vesper Martini.
Yeah, keep that train rolling.
Right. Now we sit down at the table. You order another Negroni. Yeah. I'm looking at the wine list.
Right.
I want to have a red, a Burgundy, a Cab. That's what I want to order. Okay. So that's what I'm going to pair with my steak. Right. And I'm going to stay with that. I'm not going to bounce back and forth.
Yeah, that's a tough one to bounce back and forth. The wine and then the liquor.
You just don't need to. Just pick a lane. Pick the lane you want to be in. And I get into this trouble. Been there, done that. I still get in this trouble once in a while because maybe I sat down and instead of just getting right to the wine, I have another martini. Well, and then you get caught up in that rhythm, and then someone orders a bottle of wine, and I was gonna say, well, I won't have wine. I'll just stick with the martini, and then all of a sudden I'm drinking the wine.
Yeah. Mm.
And then the meal ends, and we got to go into the cordial space or an after cocktail.
Well, that's
the
why
after dinner cocktail.
Look, peer pressure is real, guys, right? When you're with a group, it's going to be hard because you just don't want to be that guy, right? If you're there and you off the bat say, I'm not drinking, totally fine. But if there's a wine bottle at the table, you're going to feel inclined to at least taste it or try it out. So for me, again, I don't love sipping on wine when I eat. I'll taste a little bit and then I'll kind of put my glass away. But I'm going to go the opposite end and grab a cocktail and say, no, I'm good. I already got mine. Because I don't want to, going from liquor to wine to back to liquor, you're just asking for problems.
Just do not go to the liquor buffet, right? You don't want to start with one spirit and test and try.
Yeah,
it's bad. There's nothing good about it. The next morning, your head's going to feel like crap and you're going to regret your night.
They say that's a placebo, though, that it's not real.
Oh, mixing all those different kinds of cocktails?
I don't believe it because every time I do it, I feel like shit.
Well, I don't know anybody that drinks all sorts of different liquors. You got to remember something. Your body is a chemistry project, right? You're full of different things that influence the way you feel, think, and move. You eat too much food with sodium and salt, what happens? You swell up, you feel like crap.
Oh, I feel terrible.
Right. So liquor does that to you. Yeah. Each spirit, the way it's processed, the way it's made from, is going to affect your body. Mm-hmm. Some have more sugar. We went out to eat, you go to get sangria. Oh. I know if I drink sangria, I'm done the next day. I can't even do it. So I don't do it anymore because I know how sweet it is and it just doesn't work for me.
Well, that's something to then keep in mind. Is this a dinner to end the night, like you're going to go home and go to bed, or is this a dinner to then go to the bars after? Because if it's a dinner to go to the bars after, then I'm really sticking to one liquor, maybe lowering the amount of cocktails I'm getting, eating a little bit less because, again, I don't want to be like super full before I go out, and then hitting the ground running. But that's a good point.
Yeah, and I'm going home at that point. If
Well, you're older.
yeah, well.
So what are you ordering post? Hypothetically, let's say we're not going out after.
All right, so now
call it a night after this.
We had a good meal. Dessert comes if you want to order dessert. And it's interesting because as I think about how to end my meal, if I'm going out afterwards, there's definitely one thought. If I'm going home, it's another. Most of the time for me, I'm going home, right? So I will end it with a digestif. A digestif meaning something in the Amaro category that could be a Averna, which is really good for settling your stomach. And I'll put it on the rocks and I'll ask them to put a splash of soda in it. So that's one option. Right. I like that. The other option is sometimes I can go with just a coffee, an espresso, and maybe some sambuca on the side. That's not a lot of times that I do that. But there's also that way you can pair up your post-meal dessert with a coffee and something else, maybe even a liquor 43.
Oh.
Those are some good options. You have a coffee and something that goes and complements the coffee.
Yeah.
Or like I said, you get a digestif, something that's nice, and this way you're done.
Right. Yeah, I think we covered dinner, right? Going out to like a nicer spot, but there's so many other opportunities to be drinking. Yeah. And we'll talk about it, but before we do that, let's take a quick.
Well, I was just going to say though.
A few moments later.
All right, so we're back, and I have a scenario for you.
Okay.
Here's the scenario: you're going out. I don't care if it's around this area, middle of the day. You're going to do your middle of the day, and
wait, what day is it?
It's lunch. That's a Saturday, middle of the day.
Well, that's very different compared to like a Tuesday.
Okay. Well, if you're going out with your friends, does it matter what day it
we're
really
going
is?
out. Okay.
You're going out. Middle of the day, you're going out. You're going out. No one's working.
Yeah. Sick.
Nowadays, I sound like an old guy, but nowadays everybody has different days off, and even days that they're supposed to be working. It seems like people, cut out and they do whatever they want to do. I don't care, whatever it is. You're going out locally.
I get it.
Saturday. And you're going to go to, and you're going to do what you would call the bar crawl.
Yeah.
You're going to do a bar crawl. Now you're hopefully going to eat something in between there somewhere. But what do? You go to a local pub. What do you drink there?
I don't drink beer, so I'm looking for a high noon. If they don't have a high noon, I'm gonna get a neutral. If they don't have a neutral, then I'll probably get a tequila on the rocks.
Okay. You're gonna go to a pub type place, right? And you're gonna get a seltzer, a soda, or tequila on the rocks. And now this is a long day.
Yes.
So you have your first drink, then what do you follow that up with?
I'm normally staying with those two until I get real buzzed up, and then I just drink whatever is sort of in front of me. But I'll start with I try to maintain the seltzer wave as long as I possibly can until the day gets really going.
Will you drink water in between?
Of course. I always drink water.
All right.
Water is super important for me when I'm drinking.
All right. So that'll help pace you out.
Yeah, you feel a little bit better.
Right. And let you enjoy the rest of your.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. So you make it to the end of the day.
Hopefully.
Right. So that's one of the challenges, right? When you go to an afternoon binge of, with your buddies hanging out, maybe there's a sporting event, there's a reason you went out, whatever it is. You need to pace yourself.
Definitely.
And you need to almost program yourself, because the last thing you want to do is crash and burn after a couple hours, and then your buddy's got to take care of you, and that ruins their afternoon, ruins everyone's time. All right, so you're going to stay in a seltzer, you're going to do that. If I find myself in that bar crawl long type of a day, I am not touching hard liquor. Yeah. I'm going to stay away from it. I'm going to go light beer to pace myself through, and then have a glass of water every chance I get. Or I'm going to do in between the beer. I love stouts. Those are heavier. I love the higher ABVs on stouts, 9%, 10%. But I know that. Yeah, if I get one of those, I've got to mix it up and break it up with a glass of water. point is, when you know you're out for longer than just a dinner, and it's potentially 5-6 hours, you've got to almost map out and orchestrate what you're going to kind of do, right?
No, totally.
Right.
Yeah, like know where you're going, right? If we're gonna, like you said, if you're gonna start at like a pub, then definitely try to get a beer or seltzer in you, because you're gonna go to like, if you're gonna go to like a Saturday brunch spot, there's probably gonna be cocktails on the menu. Yeah. I'm definitely getting an espresso martini.
Oh, there you go. So
maybe even two.
So
I'm actually doing an espresso martini
on a bar crawl. You're going to do an espresso martini.
Me and my buddy Tom are going to hit every Hoboken bar that offers an espresso martini. So the first day we're going to do like a 3 to 4 day crawl.
Wait, 3 to 4 what? Martinis?
Yeah.
Espresso martinis.
Yeah.
Why would you do 3 or 4 of them?
How many you want to drink a day?
A day?
Yeah.
I don't know. 1. Why am I drinking more than 1 espresso martini?
I'm not gonna take one day and then do that. That'll take 20 minutes. It's a bar crawl.
Wait a second. You just, the first thing you said was you're gonna do seltzers.
Yeah, but
now you changed it. Now you went to 3 or 4 espresso martinis.
This is for the purpose of trying and finding the best espresso martini in.
Oh, well, okay. You didn't say that. Now you went out with a purpose to discover and find the best espresso martini.
Correct.
Which you know I make.
Nope. No.
Oh.
I make the best.
You really don't.
Oh my, you're so ridiculous.
Don't. Here's another thing.
Ask
any of your friends that have no taste.
Ask Diana. Ask God. Want to call Diana right now?
No. You don't have to call Diana. Diana, well, no, that's not fair to her, because you put her on a spot, she's going to embarrass you. Yeah, he's texting her, Diana, I'm going to call you. And
who makes it better, espresso martini, me or Dad?
Dad.
What?
Thank you.
What?
You see?
I meant you.
No,
yeah.
no. See, this is a lesson learned. Yeah, bye. Yeah, you see? She said me.
She said me. She meant me. She meant me.
Oh, sure, John. Sure, you can have that one. Once again, you have nothing. You have nothing to gain.
No, you have nothing. And that one, you're supposed to make a better.
You go head to head with the big dog. You poke the bear.
Oh my God!
You got nothing
this guy
to lose.
is crazy.
Just saying. You just
this
pulled your
guy's
sister.
nuts.
You just put her on a spot.
And she meant me.
She meant you.
That's what she said. I didn't make it up.
She said, "Dad."
Anyway,
I make one of the
best espresso martinis you'll ever have.
It's okay. We could add that when we go work out. Then we'll follow it up with who makes the best espresso martini. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna try to find the best espresso martini in Hoboken / Jersey City. If you want to join us for that journey, I don't know. Maybe I'll put it in
just come find me.
I'll put a video or something.
Come find me. I'll show you how to do it.
I have hats. We already have hats coming out. Anyway, so yeah, I think there's a lot of things that come into play here. Duration of time that you're going to be drinking, where you're going, who you're hanging out with. Know your friend group. Because if you're hanging out with some loose cannons, and I won't even say your names out there, maybe take some bathroom breaks. Don't be going head to head with them, because they're going to get a little bit too crazy too quick. So that's a big deal. What you have to do after the fact, if you have a big day on Sunday, maybe Saturday you just stick with the seltzers.
Listen, there's no chance what you're now orchestrating. You're thinking about Sunday. Oh, I need to take there's no chance.
No, but that's my point is, if you're going to prepare, I know Saturday here, well, it's Memorial Day weekend. Saturday's going to be a big day. Mm-hmm. Sunday I have a wedding. So this really doesn't apply to this. But if I were to tell myself Saturday's going to be a big day drink day, I'm not doing shit on Sunday. I'm not drinking again on Sunday. I'm not crazy. That's the difference between being in college and being a little bit older.
You really think this weekend, as an example, Saturday you're going to drink all day, and Sunday you'll go to a wedding with the same friends or a lot of the same friends, and you won't drink?
No, I have to, is what I'm saying. This is an exception.
Oh, so you're ready for that.
This is an exception.
Well, then you need to take it easy on Saturday.
I do. It's going to be tough.
Because Sunday is the
right, of course,
the marquee day. And you should celebrate your buddy and have a good time with your friends. And
I know.
That's a special day.
Let me ask you this, because this is the age-old question. What is the perfect beer time for you?
The perfect time.
I want to say should I say it?
The best time of day is 5 o'clock on the beach.
I knew it. What are you drinking? What kind of beer?
Corona.
So that's his ideal beer time is 5 o'clock on the beach with a Corona in hand. Leave a comment below what your favorite perfect beer time is. I would have to go with, I don't drink beer, but like my favorite seltzer, let's say.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I ask you this question?
I'm asking myself.
Yeah. He's asking his own questions and answering his own.
Well, we're here together. It's yeah. It's a good one, man.
Okay. Good. I'm glad I asked it.
You really stumped me.
I stumped him. He stumped himself.
This was a great question.
Yeah.
Really,
well,
really
while
good
you're
question.
thinking about that, I want to just expand on one thing. What ounces is the Corona?
Oh, the little ones.
Yeah,
What,
7 ounces.
7 ounces? Yeah.
7 ounces. Nothing beats 7-ounce Corona when the sun is just kind of making its way. It's not going to set. It's too early, but the best time of the day on the beach. The lighting's really good. Everyone's calmed. Anyone who's on the beach that's left is just there to chill out. There's not a lot of noise, and the young children have already left. It's in a bottle, man. Literally, no pun intended, but that's the best time.
Well, your buddy Uncle Steve would maybe differ. He would say the nip, the Miller nips are
Miller High Life. Well, so hold on. Here's the difference. You said on the beach, off the beach, on the deck, after I shower.
Man.
Oh, at the barbecue, at the queue, when I start to
At the queue.
give me the champagne of beers, the little guys, the nips, all day long.
Really?
Nothing. That's tough. That's 1 and 1A.
That's a good one. I'm gonna go with. I think it's gonna be Saturday around like noon, 1-ish. I got my workout in, so I ate a healthy breakfast. I'm feeling really good. I feel like I accomplished something that day already, and I just met up with my boys for a big Saturday day drink, and it's that first high noon, that sip, and you're just ready to go. Maybe sunglasses are already on, like this.
Okay, sure.
That's probably gonna be my favorite.
All right, so you like a seltzer.
Yeah, I'm not drinking beer.
All right, so that's cool. What else? You got another scenario? You got another option you want to play through here?
I'm trying to think like the real differences, like what I didn't know when I was 18, 19, 20, 21 drinking versus now.
Okay.
I think we covered a lot.
Well, so how about this? Because we started with what to drink and when. We covered a steakhouse as an example. We covered the bar crawl kind of scenario, pub, beer and shot type of establishment. Now you're at an event. You're going to a wedding. You're going to a confirmation,
Right.
a party, a celebration. You're going to some sort of a celebration. And weddings, because predominantly they're at nighttime, would be a big difference than some sort of brunch celebration during the day. When you think about going to the wedding, what do you think you're going to drink all night at the wedding?
That I'll drink tequila all night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't want to mix at a wedding, but I'll water it down. Like I'll drink tequila on the rocks, normally a nicer tequila, and I'll stay with that.
Okay.
I just don't need to be drinking
Yep.
seltzers or anything else.
Yep. I agree. Especially at a wedding, pick one drink and stay with it.
Yeah. That's not the place you want.
Differently than the 5-hour bar crawl.
No.
Right? 5 hours to 5 hours. Stay in your lane, pick a drink, a spirit, and just enjoy it. You want to have 4, fine. 5, 6, you want to, I don't know what your tolerance may be. That's fine. Just stay with the same alcohol. It's when you start doing that and then you get the shots and this one comes over and that one comes over. Let's do a shot. Okay. You dance with that bear. You better be careful because it could bite, right? You could come back.
Well, that's the thing. Like a bar crawl on a Saturday, if I'm getting too messed up, I could go home.
Yeah,
that's right. You're not leaving a wedding early, and if you do, you're kind of an asshole. Right. So that's the place where don't experiment with new liquor, don't try different things, know what your tolerance is, and I think that's the biggest one. Maturing with understand, like when you hit that point and you're handed a shot, don't take it. Like there's no reason now to go over the edge and make a fool of yourself.
Right. Don't experiment.
Know your limit isn't.
No reason to experiment in a public place like a wedding. No. You can ruin someone's wedding. I've seen it happen, actually, by the way. I've seen it happen where people get out of control and they ruin someone's beautiful day.
Yeah, not worth it.
Differently than at a bar when you get kicked out or a house party when you're told to just, someone else will take you home.
Right.
Stay cool, enjoy it, have fun, but know your place. Yeah. Right. All right.
Well, that was good. Hopefully somebody learned something from this.
I know I did. I know I did.
Great.
Yeah. Well, so I always ask our guests 2 questions.
Don't be asking
at
me
the
this
end
question.
of this. I like to ask our guests 2 questions. 1, what's your greatest accomplishment?
This is not the podcast for this.
And
though.
two,
Ask
what's
me
your
what my
most
favorite?
humbling
Ask me
moment?
what my favorite drink is and my least favorite drink is. I think that's a good place. Go ahead. You can
All
ask
right,
me.
what's your favorite cocktail?
That's a really good question.
Negroni,
No.
tequila and soda.
No. You over 2. It's an espresso martini. I have one tattooed on me.
Oh, that's right, Tom Collins.
No.
Oh, we have a tattoo.
I do like Tom Collins.
Oh, hold on. You have a tattoo of Tom Collins and you have a tattoo of Espresso Martini, and I'm supposed to know.
And I have a bourbon on for you.
And a bourbon.
The bourbon's for you. The espresso martini's for me. And then I needed space back here, so I put the Tom Collins.
Oh, so
That's my favorite drink.
Tom Collins is just to fill up space.
Yeah, my least favorite drink. Ooh, another really good question. Honestly, I hate to even say this. Like, I'm gonna rank this as like I would never order this. Normally, would be wine. Like I don't drink. Like when we went to the winery in Napa, that was sick. That was a really cool day.
Yeah.
But I will never go to like a restaurant and be like, oh, let me take your. I can have half a glass and be like, I'm good.
Why was the winery experience that we had in Sonoma in California? Why was that different for you?
Because I told myself I'm gonna drink wine, and that's the only thing I'll drink. So I have to sit there and enjoy this. So it's like more, I paced myself out. We didn't really eat that much. We had nothing else to really do, so we sort of just sat there and drank wine.
And this is a really good point, and I think not a lesson to be taught, but a kind of a lesson that's learned for yourself. There's probably a lot of people like you that would say, I don't want to go to a winery. I don't like wine.
No, I wouldn't do it.
Right. But when you get there and they slowly drip you, taste this, because they only give you this much.
Yeah.
You're not drinking glasses. But then when you find what you like, then you can have a glass or a bottle. But one of the most wonderful things about, I think, alcohol and respecting it and appreciating how to maximize the experience is understanding that try stuff, taste it, sip it, right? Don't get into the place that you think you got to power it back and throw it all back. You sip it, you don't like it, you put it down.
Yeah.
And progressively find out what your palate is comfortable with and find out where you want to stay and kind of play around in for a little bit. And then you can kind of mix stuff up. But I'm glad you had a good time when we went out there, because those are some of the best experiences.
Yeah, that was a good time. So,
all
right. Well, that was good. Good podcast.
Cool.
Guys, as always, share, like,
subscribe
if you're not already subscribed.
Yeah,
turn on those
please do.
notifications, please.
And go to my
beg
Twitter
of you.
account. And
Don't
blow
go
up
to
my
his
Twitter account.
Go to our TikTok and Instagram.
Twitter account. My
all
Twitter
that fun
account.
stuff. All right, guys.
@ Johnny_drinks.
Cheers.
Twitter.
Peace.